welcome with her icebreaker speech, Angela Conter.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and guests. Have you ever been afraid of something? So utterly terrified that your hands get clammy, your heart races, and perhaps you do something or many things to avoid whatever that source of the fear is. I have done that for a large portion of my life. And it started back in junior high when I gave my first public speech, which you would have thought that I was destined to be an auctioneer, as I just read, and I couldn't even look up, I just read at neck-breaking speed. I swore right then and there I would never do it again, and I would avoid it at all costs. And I did pretty well. I managed to avoid it through the rest of junior high and through high school. And my senior year in high school, my parents informed me that they would not be able to pay for school. And so they had a suggestion for me, which was to join the Army. So I did. And I was able to graduate from high school early and go into basic training and complete my AIT before starting my freshman year of college that fall. And I thought it was all hunky-dory. I was 17 and really didn't have much beyond me in focus. So I loved writing, and my intention was to go into an English major. And I did that and found that I loved it. And I hadn't quite finished my first semester of the freshman year when I was activated for Desert Storm. So I went and served in my country, and I did stay stateside. When you're in the military during times of war, you can advance and rank pretty quickly. But I decided that I didn't want to go that route, because in order to go that route, it would involve more public speaking. So I dinked myself, and I decided that I would not go ahead and pursue that, and I would stay the same rank, and I would avoid that public speaking, and forewent an increase in pay and everything. Then I came home after I had served my time, and I decided that I wanted to go into respiratory therapy. And so I did that. And in doing so, I found a new love. I loved being in the hospital. I loved working with people. I loved seeing them get better. I loved learning the human anatomy and physiology and how everything worked together. And I loved everything about it. So I decided to go pre-med, and I switched my major. But then I fell in love. And I met the man of my dreams, and we got married, and I decided to stay home with our children. I was at home with our children for a few years when I encountered my own health crisis. And my adrenals, which are little glands on top of your kidneys, failed. I was having blackout spells. I was having crazy hormone problems. I wasn't able to be the wife or the mom that I wanted to be. I sought out all sorts of medical help for this, and nobody really had any solutions. And it took quite some amount of time in order to even determine what the problem was. I went through EEGs and MRIs and all sorts of testing to even figure it out. And in the end, there was no solution. I did find down the road that food can stimulate your adrenals if it's an offensive food to your body in such a manner that it can eventually down them completely. When I learned this truth, and when I began to change my diet, and when I began to see how incredibly far food can either take you to heal or to hurt, I became passionate about sharing that with others. so passionate that I felt like it was time for me to overcome the greatest obstacle in my life, which was public speaking. I had never even heard of Toastmasters before. When it was first shared with me, I thought somebody said Postmasters. So I came here with the hopes of getting past that fear. And I hope that you guys will help me with that and help encourage me and instruct me to become a better speaker so that I can share this passion. But I also hope that in sharing this with you guys tonight, that you can evaluate your own fears or any sort of hindrance in your life that has kept you from not only bettering yourself, but impacting other people's lives for the better.